Hello, my name is Jeffrey Schuchart, and I am here with Budget Mentor to break down the difference between direct and indirect costs when it comes to federally sponsored research. So when managing a budget for a project or when drafting one, understanding the difference between direct and indirect costs is crucial, but what exactly sets them apart? So let's break this down. Direct costs are expenses that can be clearly and exclusively associated with a specific project or activity. Imagine you're conducting a scientific study. The cost of the specialized equipment, laboratory materials, and salaries for research staff working directly on the project are all direct costs. So these are costs that directly contribute to your project and would not have been incurred if your project did not exist. So here in this photo, we can see that some of the direct costs are in green. So hold on, let me zoom out here really fast. And we'll pan over. So you can see these are expenses to cover lab supplies, salaries and stipends for researchers, travel costs for conducting and showing research. Now, on the other hand, you have indirect costs. Now, indirect costs are also known as F&A costs, or facilities and administration costs. So facilities and administration costs are the same exact thing as indirect costs. There's just slightly different terminology. Now, F&A costs, on the other hand, are costs that help to keep the lights on for multiple different projects. They don't directly tie to your project, but help for general things like utilities, office supplies, and the salaries of administrative personnel who might oversee more than just your project. So these costs are not directly tied to any one project, and I guess that's kind of why they call them overhead costs. You might have multiple projects in a building, and the building might be overhead of all of those projects, and these costs help keep the lights on for all of those projects. So calculating these costs is not just about bookkeeping for organizations, particularly those relying on grants or external funding. Distinguishing between direct and indirect costs helps in setting accurate budgets and ensuring compliance with federal regulations. Most funding agencies have specific guidelines about how these costs can be categorized. If you are curious about your direct versus indirect costs when drafting a National Science Foundation budget, feel free to head over to the website budgetmentor.com. That is budget-mentor.com. And on this website, you can draft every section of your budget, including getting help selecting which costs count towards your indirect costs. And it'll also take care of all of the calculations for you as well. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and hope to see you over there.